Connectors, what's up? They're cutting the grass. Oh. Connectors, what's up? DK here. Hope you're having a good day. May 1, ready to go, new month. I want to talk a little bit about fundraising, but specifically one subsection of fundraising and one subsection of donors, legacy donors. Now, immediately when I start talking about legacy donors, I know a lot of people start thinking, man, that's like a major donor. That's a lot of money. That's a lot of money over time. That's a huge a financial commitment or an endowment or something very, very big. Legacy gives a high lofting status to a nonprofiteer and to their donor base. But I'm here to tell you, legacy donor can be something very different and very impactful to you. It does not have to mean big money, just quality donations. So for my purposes, when I talk about legacy donors, what I mean by this is longevity. So it's the long game. It's playing out the long game instead of just asking for dollars immediately or year to year, month to month kind of asks, something that goes over time. And when we talk about legacy, we really don't mean legacy as in the longevity of the money coming into the organization. When I mean legacy, what I talk about is the legacy of the donor himself, herself, to the family, to a foundation, their legacy. We know there's a million reasons why people give to organizations. They might have an affinity to the organization. They might have grown up with it, volunteering with it. Legacy could be over generations. This family passed on generation to generation, has supported it. There are a lot of reasons that people give, but overarching all of this is the whole notion that I believe that people do not give to causes, people give to people. They have a connection that makes that give important to them. So when I talk in terms of legacy donations, what I mean is taking that idea of the connectivity and giving it longevity. So a long connection using the person's beliefs, the values, the connection between the beliefs and values of an organization to a person, to a family, to a foundation. That's what I believe is a good legacy donor. And of course, in my talk about long-term, playing the long game, that's exactly the problem with legacy donations, is that most organizations don't feel they have the time to allot, to put into getting legacy donors because they're working in the now. We are so focused in the here and now, in the need, head down in the work, that we're looking for donations immediately. And we try really hard to make our donations happen immediately and quick so we can put it right on the book, we can get it into the budget, we can make sure we hit our numbers, and we can keep sustaining ourselves. But really what we're doing is we're looking at the short term. And at some point in the strategic planning process, in the thinking moving forward, in your leadership as an executive director, president, whatever your title is, you have to look out and look toward the long game and ask yourself, how am I going to keep the longevity of this organization? Sustainability is a great word, but it's used so much that I think sometimes it rings hollow to a lot of people. And what I look to do is say, play the long game. How far out can we go is determined by how much impact we have today and looking forward. So how can you set up a legacy donor? Well, funny you should ask. First, don't think of a donor or a possible donor as a legacy donor right off the bat. You have to really friend raise to fundraise. As I always say, start with the friend raising, then get to fundraising. But when it actually comes time to ask for a financial commitment from this person, you want to start, as we mostly do, in this time, in this era, in this year, ask for the donation now. And once that person gets into the system, then it's time to add the level in your friend raising game to see if you can talk about legacy at some point. Not at the start. Just get them in the door. Remember, you want to get them here and comfortable and excited to be a champion for you and your cause. Then you can talk legacy. So how can you get to the legacy talk? Well, it's pretty easy, actually. You can sit down with the donor and you can ask them, where do you see your support of this organization moving forward? If they're very happy with their annual gift that happens like clockwork, boom, it comes in end of year, it comes in May, it comes in whenever, and they're happy with that, that's a good starting point. But you can actually start talking to your donor if you have friend raised in a little more open and honest way. And this is not to woo them into thinking, how cool would it be to have your name on our door, or have this named after you, or name this after your daughter, your son, your dog, whatever they would want to do. It's not about the ego stroke. What it is simply saying the longevity of your support, the strength of your support, can live in perpetuity with a legacy type gift. Looking at annual, but instead of it being asked every single year, committing to multi-year. So it's step ups. It's slowly building them up to a legacy donor. Then and only then does it make any sense to talk legacy for a potential donor to move to. Because if you don't ask for the small steps to be bought into, the big step doesn't make any sense. So don't start with legacy. Start with a strong supported fundraiser who is now a good friend of the organization that can turn that good gift into a legacy gift. So, what does legacy donations and legacy donors really boil down to? Like always, donations come down to friend raising, trust, and relationships, connecting values and voices of a donor and an organization. You have to friend raise before you fundraise. You have to know your values are in alignment so that it makes a lot of sense to make the ask. And most importantly, you have to have trust and you have to have a good relationship. You do not start by asking about legacy and long term. It doesn't matter if the person is a multi-millionaire, has done thousands upon thousands of things within your community. It is a matter of you and them connecting, making sure you're in alignment. And after that, then the idea of legacy donation makes a whole lot of sense. So guys, I'm going to end it there. Thank you so much for hanging out with me again. I do appreciate it. My name is DK and I'm with Connect the Dots Movement. Be sure you like and subscribe this video and share it out to people if you want. We're right here on Facebook, facebook.com/Connect the Dots Movement. We're also on Twitter, so you can retweet, ask questions from there too. We do a lot of questions where I answer questions from you, the audience. And so if you want to put a question up on Twitter, you could do so at WeConnectDots. Also, if you want to do a consultation with your organization, your board, you yourself as an executive of a nonprofit, please email me right here at doug@connectthedotsmovement.org. Happy to talk with you. I will get back to you within 24 hours. And if we can, we'll connect up. We'll start talking. I appreciate it so much, everybody. Thanks for hanging out with me. My name is DK. I'm with Connect the Dots Movement. And you have just been connected. See you around. Speaking of legacy, this dedicated to my brother Joe. Joe, your legacy is secured. I love you, brother. Nonprofit power.